that Banded and Blank Knight should be bumped up about 3 spaces each.
Yeah, maybe I agree with you on Banded, because like now my brain wants to take the tricks that like had to add something to fool them and like move them lower on the list.
Yes.
And the ones that are just raw, like this is just I don't know, I guess personal opinion, but like just raw tricks that people came up with that can go on Fool Us and fool them.
Yeah.
Seem to be, I guess in my own weird magician brain, better, right?
Yeah. Hey everybody, Eric Tate here alongside my buddy Nick Licapo, and welcome back to another Penguin Magic Top 10 Countdown as determined by you, the Penguin Magic customers and fans. And today, Nick, we got a cool one.
Man, this is like the big one.
Yeah.
It's kind of a really big one.
It really is a really big one.
Yeah.
This is the top 10 tricks from Fool Us that have fooled Penn and Teller that you can do.
I can't even believe, well, like, you know, before this list, I didn't even realize there were this many tricks that you could get.
Yeah.
Because there's some that aren't even on the list.
Yes.
Which is crazy to me.
They get fooled so rarely.
Yeah, and there's all these tricks that you can buy that fooled Penn and Teller. I was unaware. I would have maybe been able to name 3, 4, not 10.
So like when I was on the show, I actually like made a list of all of the tricks that had fooled them at the time and the way I thought they were. Because I tried to like moneyball my Fool Us thing where I was like, how does this work? Maybe I can like affect my trick a little bit. And at the time, there just like weren't that many, especially card tricks.
Sure.
And there's a shocking amount of stuff.
Yeah, and it's all good stuff too.
It really is.
Yeah, the list is really good, and it's going to be exciting to let you all know about it.
Yeah, now I think there's a couple things we should address. Now, most of the tricks that we talk about, you can learn the exact method that fooled Penn and Teller, because like that's what you're buying. There's a couple of them that we're going to talk about where there's the method that fooled Penn and Teller may not be available, but you can still do a trick that is pretty close to what it is. But by and large, all of these are exactly the same way that they fooled Penn and Teller.
The first step to fooling Penn and Teller.
No.
You have to subscribe to the Penguin Magic YouTube channel. That's what you have to do, right? And hit the like button and whatever you're supposed to do, right?
I was, you're supposed to like and subscribe.
Yeah, that's what you missed.
Yeah, I totally missed that. I thought that was a dig at me because I didn't fool Penn and Teller. I fooled Allison Hannigan, which a lot of people don't realize is the more important part of the show.
Yeah, well,
be sure to like and subscribe. Also, if there's tricks on this list that fooled Penn and Teller that you can get that you think should have been on here that are not, let us know in the comments down below. We want to hear about it. Also, if there's other top 10 lists that you and Nick want me to give our hot takes on, go ahead and let us know below. We want to hear your thoughts and everything on that. But Nick, I think we should get to the list.
Yeah. This list is going to be awesome, and it might be fun to explore some more Fool Us stuff in the future.
I think so. It's a great show. It's done a lot for Magic. Yeah. It certainly is a lot of fun to watch. But let's start off with number 10 on this list. This is Cards in Bag by Dominic DeVivier. Now, also, you should know that the gentleman on the front of this trick is the one who invented it, Dominic DeVivier, but he is not the one who fooled Penn and Teller with it. I believe it's his daughter. Alexandra DeVivier is the one who fooled it. This is a really cool trick. Essentially, you have a deck of cards that you shuffle face up and face down, but you don't just shuffle them face up and face down. You make a giant mess out of them. You can even put them in a bag, and you can shake up the bag and shuffle them, and then the magician, by touch alone, is able to sort the cards out face up and face down. It is a very cool trick. Inside of the box that you get is a very special deck of cards and a bag with which to do the trick. It's pretty easy to do too. It's really surprisingly easy. I remember chatting with Christian Engblom about this at the Tricks convention. He brought a few over because it was a little hard to get at the time. But really, really easy to do. I wish we could tell you about the methods on this, but the method, it's not self-working. You've got to do stuff, but the method all happens in the bag, which also the presentation, it makes a lot of sense that it's happening in the bag. The cool thing is the bag is not used to switch the cards. You're actually sorting out the cards face up and face down. Because I know when I first saw them do this trick, I was like, Penn and Teller were fooled by a change bag? It's not a change bag. It's not. It's great.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, and it's going to be fun to like kind of dive into the sub-themes of some of these tricks, right? Because some of the stuff that ends up fooling Penn and Teller kind of feels like they're tricks to design to fool magicians, right? Because like why not just use a change bag, Eric?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, because, you're not going to fool Penn and Teller in that case, right?
No.
So that deck is very interesting
Yeah.
on what it's able to do and how it's able to sort. Because even in the performance, the way that she shuffles really, like you might be following up for a minute, and then you're like, wait a minute, she just shuffled the cards on the table like that, and those definitely turned around.
Yep.
Those definitely turned around.
Yeah,
so if it wasn't that other thing that I know about, right? And then, a routine that is heavily fooling for magicians.
I think the other thing that's so clever, especially with the performance of the routine, because I think that's one of the things we can talk about, is the way it's performed to Penn and Teller. They're actually touching the cards and handling the cards. And so the first your mind goes to a change bag, and then your mind goes to that thing that you and I are talking about that you at home know what we're talking about, and you go, well, it couldn't be because Penn like gets in there and shuffles those cards, and you'd think that he would know what he was handling. And so there's a lot of, this trick sets a lot of things up and then just totally eliminates those methods with the presentation.
Right. So as far as if you wanted to perform this, is it going to be good for like a parlor show or something like that? I guess that's where I'm trying to go with it a little bit.
This feels like something that you would do in sort of a more formal close-up setting.
Maybe in a magic club thing. Maybe?
Yeah, I think you would definitely do this at a magic club, especially because it's been a while since this one has actually been on the show. So your magic buddies and I might not remember.
I mean, it would fool the pants off your magic friends, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I could see you doing this in a parlor show.
Sure.
So if you were going to do this in a parlor show, you would need a stand on which to do this, because I can see an arena where someone
like close-up table or
or close-up table. Yeah, but I could see an arena where somebody is like holding the bag and you're doing the trick in the bag, but you need to be able to operate inside the bag.
Yeah.
is all it is.
Yeah, good number 10.
But fantastic trick by itself. Let's move on to number 9.
Number 9 is just one of the best card tricks ever.
Yes.
Maybe should this be like in the top 3 possibly?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised because y'all voted on this, and y'all put it at number 9.
And honestly, we just got done filming a bunch of stuff here, and we're like, hey, let's film that top 10.
Yeah.
So I haven't actually even like processed the list in my brain as to like what should be where. But as I'm saying this next one, Unshuffled by Paul Gertner out loud, I'm like, man, this trick's really good.
Yeah.
So the effect is essentially a card is chosen. And you show that you have a marked deck of cards, and it's marked on the sides. It kind of looks like a barcode. A card is chosen, and you're able to say, I'm able to read these cards because of the unique code on the edge of each one of these cards. Cards chosen, said that 3 times.
Yep.
It goes into the deck, and then he goes into a shuffle sequence where slowly, every time he shuffles the deck, the side of the deck reveals the word unshuffled. Now, the first couple times you shuffle it, it's going to repeat the word unshuffled multiple times. Then you shuffle it again. Now it says unshuffled twice. And you do it again, and now it says unshuffled. And now you spread the deck, and the deck is actually unshuffled. Yeah. Like ace through king, ace through king. I should have mentioned the deck is shuffled at the beginning of the routine. Yeah. Then you turn the deck to the other side. So one side says unshuffled, then you can turn it around, and it will reveal the name of the spectator's card. Now that was the original unshuffled routine,
which I believe was published in Paul Gertner's Silver and Steel book.
Yeah,
I may be wrong on the book. Maybe we'll throw a lower thirst graph up if I'm not
I
correct.
first saw it on, I believe it was in the Paul Harris the Astonishment DVDs.
It might have been.
Because I think that's where I learned it.
It's been around for a long time.
I feel like Goat Bro Gilbert taught it to me, so it must have been on the Art of Astonishment DVDs. But Gertner's stuff's incredible. Like Penguin Live video is amazing. Yeah. I don't know if he talks about it on there. He might. No. He might.
It's been around. The point is, it's been around a long time.
Yeah.
So when he decided to take it, and I've heard him tell this story at a couple of conventions. When he decided to bring it on to fool us, he knew he had to take it up a notch, and that's where the kicker comes from.
Well, Penn and Teller are also big Paul Gertner fans.
Yes.
So they know Unshuffled, right? So when he turns the deck around again, and it says Penn and Teller on the other side, they were done, right? And that's what you're going to get in Paul Gertner's Unshuffled KIGKER, because you can go learn Unshuffled from these resources we just told you about. Yeah. But if you want to do that final thing where the deck changes again, you got it here. Now, in all honesty, I haven't actually watched this video. I know what the gimmick is and how it works and everything. I would have to imagine that maybe you're having 2 cards selected. so that when the deck is turned around, it has another card there, or maybe the spectator's name or something?
You can customize the
Because
message.
yes, you can customize the message.
That's the thing, is that what you're buying is not something that says Penn and Teller on the side of it.
Right.
You can customize your own message. You
Yes.
could have a second card put in there that you could force, or you could have somebody's name. The gimmick is kind of interesting.
It's very cool.
The first time you pull it out, you're just like, what is
How
this
is this
thing?
used?
Yeah, and then Paul takes you through it. It's kind of interesting. You are adding a little something to the deck during the routine. I don't think that we're giving away too much there because I mean you're getting something.
Yeah,
in the
the
mail.
deck doesn't magically change to something else.
No.
Like because what fooled Penn and Teller, I'm assuming, is no deck switch.
Yes.
Right. The deck stayed in play the entire time.
Yeah.
Therefore, they're like, we have no idea how that works. Plus, they love Paul Gertner,
Yeah.
right? So
They're hip.
he's got a little edge there in that category. But yeah, the gimmick you're going to get allows you to change the deck an additional time and customize whatever you want that to say. It's not something you're going to be doing in the moment. It's going to have to be predetermined.
Yeah.
So just off the top of my brain, it could be a secondary card or the name of the spectator or the company that you're working for or whatever.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting gimmick, and there's a lot of interesting stuff to learn here. Buying this is well worth it to learn Unshuffled from Paul Gertner, which is a fantastic trick, which, by the way, you can do without the kicker and will still really kill people.
I guess another difference, too, is that Unshuffled can be done anywhere, anytime, walk around. This going to be more of a formal close-up show that you're going to have to do this in because of the way that the kicker ending works. But the regular routine, no, all good.
Great, really, really great. And
Amazing.
I kind of, based on some of the limitations that we know about the kicker, I think that this is actually well placed on here. Whereas,
now that I said it out loud, maybe might be a little higher up on my list, but we'll see because I can't even remember what's next.
Yeah, so I think this is kind of well placed. But coming up next at number 8 is our good friend Garrett Thomas. This is a very recent fooler as of the filming of this particular video.
Yeah,
this
was a 2020 fooler.
This was a 2020 fooler. This is Banded by Garrett Thomas. Garrett Thomas is sort of the godfather of ring routines, as far as I'm concerned, and maybe not invented all of the ring routines, but invented the best ring routines. A lot of people know him from the Ring Thing, which is incredible. The
Opus?
Opus. Thank you very much. I was having trouble with that. Opus is his coin and ring study, but this Banded has been out quite a while. What this is a ring routine where the ring visibly moves from finger to finger, and then the big kicker here is you're able to put the ring on the spectator's finger and then move it from finger to finger. This is a really, really interesting routine. Comes with a ring, a special gimmick you need to do everything, and Garrett teaches.
A gimmick? I thought it comes with a spell book.
I mean, it was Garrett Thomas.
Garrett Thomas, right? So there's no gimmick in there, right? He just does it for real,
no,
right?
It's just there's a demon that you sell your soul to that Garrett is imprisoned in this box. You will see there's a number on here. This is not the cost. This is the size. This comes in a couple of different sizes. The one thing that you do need to know about Garrett's ring routines is that you need to have a ring that is slightly larger than a ring that you would normally wear.
Yeah.
And he goes into some of the sizes.
Well, his reasoning on there is, just for visibility's sake, and listening to Garrett talk about this stuff is amazing, right? Yeah. I think Garrett should just go there and talk, and he'd probably make money somehow. But anyway,
it's amazing. It's a little more expensive. It's $70.
If you've ever seen magicians wear this style ring, now you know where it came from. Yeah. It came from Garrett Thomas's Banded kit. You're gonna learn. I've watched this video before. You're not only going to learn the Banded routine, you're also going to learn some other ring sleights and things, because there is an extra gimmick involved in the process of moving the ring across. We're not going to show you what that is, but his handlings are just like concerts, man, like little symphonies of everything makes sense and they flow really easily along,
It's really well thought out, and there's something interesting about Garrett's routines. Is I've seen a lot of people do Garrett's stuff and they go, I decided to do it this way instead of this way, and really the reason Garrett does stuff the way he does is because he's already thought about the way that you have decided to change it to, and he decided not to do that for very specific reasons. Just do it the way Garrett does, and you're going to be solid. And I should also say, I believe Ring Thing Banded and Opus all also like flow into one another. Like all of Garrett's ring stuff sort of works.
Sure. Yeah. Well, they all use the same ring.
Yeah.
I mean, not that you need a specific ring for a ring thing, but for Opus, it is this ring, right?
It's the same ring for Opus. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the standard ring in the world of Garrett Thomas. Ring thing is a fantastic trick as well. I can't remember if he might touch on it briefly in here. Don't quote me on that, but you'd want to get the ring thing, and I think he even has an expanded project or something on it out there now.
Yeah, and I think even he has Banded and the ring thing as a dual set.
Yeah.
So you can go from one into the other.
Did he do the ring thing in the fullest performance?
I think he does do ring thing, and then he goes into Banded because he in the Foolest performance, he brings Teller up and he does Banded to Teller.
Yeah, there's the one phase where it goes to the it's amazing.
Go back and watch. I'd love to include as much Foolest footage here as we can, but obviously for rights reasons we can't include tons of it. But go back and watch when Garrett does Banded to Teller, because you see the moment the ring passes through Teller's finger, and you see the moment that Teller is well and truly snowed.
Yeah,
it's
a great routine. If you're ever at a Magic convention, Garrett Thomas kicking around, have him show you a trick, because it's a different experience.
He will wreck you.
He will wreck you hard. Yeah. So and it was nice to see him destroy Penn and Teller from the stage, because Garrett is amazing.
Yep. So Banded,
great
$70,
trick though.
Great trick.
Oh yeah,
really good.
Oh, really great. Really great.
It's is it really number 8?
We'll have to talk about it. We'll get to like number 3.
And then we'll talk about it.
We'll take a little thing. Because I don't have any honorable mentions really for this list.
No.
So maybe we'll discuss like the order of it.
Yeah.
When we get up there.
Let's move on to number 7.
We're making this up as we go, apparently. Number 7. This is the original Fooler.
Yes. This is the first trick that fooled Penn and Teller from the original British series.
Yes, which was great.
So good.
And that is John Archer and Blank Knight by John Archer. Yep. This is a Bank Night routine. He has renamed to Blank Night. Bank Night there's a lot of versions. Essentially, it's kind of like a mentalist routine, although it's kind of a magic routine. In a lot of versions, it's just, here's 5 envelopes. In one of these envelopes, I've placed a $100 bill, and then you ask audience members to choose an envelope until you get down to 2. Last one is given away. The one remaining is for you, and you open it up and you show that you have a $100 bill. You've somehow convinced the audience to leave you the envelope with the $100 bill, right? And this is one of those routines that's kind of been done to death, method-wise and presentationally for a very long time. Yeah. I know in like the Tarbell study that I did with Dan Harlan, there was probably too many methods. Too many.
I was about to say, 25, 30, and that's probably just scratching the iceberg with this.
So, to fool Penn and Teller with a Bank Night routine, it better be pretty good. Yeah. And this is very good.
Yeah, I agree. And I was just, I know you do it, and I know I do it.
Yeah.
And we both have our own routines, but we both like to use John Archer's Blank Night.
Yeah. Well, John had 2 things going on.
Yeah.
One, his presentation.
Yes.
Right, which was the fun wordplay presentation, which, maybe that wasn't the idea of like using a wordplay presentation for these types of things. I don't know if that, I would imagine John probably was maybe the first to marry that with the Bank Night routine.
I believe there are other people who have, but there's a history. So when you get this, it's really cool. When you open it up, there's a book that are the instructions, that also the envelopes, because he gives you the envelopes in there, and they all are a nice, neat little package, and the package is like a nice way to store the envelopes as well.
Sure.
And he talks about sort of the evolution of his routine and gives you other ideas to do your own wordplay routine, because I think this is one of the few ones where
he says, don't use my patter.
Don't use my patter. Here are a myriad of other options for you to use.
Yeah. So that's what drew me to the routine.
Yes.
Was the presentation. How it worked, I wasn't quite sure at the time. This was a long time ago for me, but I was intrigued. And then there is an interesting method in here of a secret envelope gimmick that allows it to be as clean as it is. If you watch the performance of it, it just seems like anybody can pick any envelope, because they can. And no matter what, you'll be left with the envelope that has a $100 bill in it, and it's clean. You can show it on both sides, and then you open it up fairly, and you take out not a folded bill, but a flat $1 bill. Like those are the details here that ended up fooling Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
Opening it from this side, showing five, because I think it was $500.
Yeah.
5 $100 bills. Because there's just going back to Cards in Bag. I feel like there's some things in there that are just specifically designed to fool magicians.
Mm-hmm.
Same with this. Not that you wouldn't use this, because you can use this to do bank night. But there's some extra details there that are just like a little over the top for what you might actually need to do to fool a lay audience or to fool Penn and Teller.
That moment though, where you're pulling the bills out and they're fanned as you take them out, and you can show the envelopes very cleanly on both sides, is really great.
Really cool.
And the handling is not too difficult.
Nope.
It's pretty easy to learn from the written instructions that it comes with. I think I had it to practice it for a couple of days before I was like happy to take it on stage, just because I wanted to have it really nice. But I've never really had an issue with this.
No.
It's really, really a fun routine.
Yeah, if you want to do a bank night routine, you can. It comes in blue or yellow.
Yeah.
Not orange,
and
which is what he used in the performance.
The envelopes, and actually there's an interesting story behind that, is that the envelopes that he used in Penn and Teller were commercially available envelopes, and they were easily able to gimmick. And between Penn and Teller airing and the trick becoming available, the company stopped making those size envelopes. So those envelopes are custom made to the original size for blank night. And I think that's why the envelopes come blank, so that you can
write whatever you want.
You can write whatever you want on them. And I actually, any modern printer that has an envelope printing feature, you can print very easily onto them. It's a great routine.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And the original, he was the first to fool Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
So
It's $29.99, and you get the envelopes and the gimmick. It all comes ready to go. So that's it.
Yeah.
Moving on to number 6 is our good friend Rick Lax with Binary Code. Binary Code is a download from right here at Penguin Magic. It's $9.95. It's a pretty cool memory demonstration where cards are getting like mixed up, and then you're dividing the packets into one and the other, and then telling people how much are in there. It's Rick does it to a cool poem. It was the
Binary Code memory demonstration. 3 phases.
Yeah.
Where they're just increasingly more impossible. And, when you watch Rick do this, it seems as if there's got to be some sort of memory thing involved. It really does feel that way.
Yeah.
And there isn't, which is crazy. This is one of those where, the performance on Fool Us is a little different than the download that you're going to get. The method's the same.
Yeah.
But yes, he recites some poem on Fool Us.
But I think it's part of that is just that like Rick really wanted to amp his performance level up, and you can get there from between the download and watching the Fool Us thing, you could turn it into a real showstopper of a trick.
This is accessible to anybody.
Yeah.
If you want to look like you can memorize a deck of cards, there's a lot of ways to do it. This is just any pack's not marked or anything like that. This is probably the cheapest Fooler, right?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's $9.95. It's a pretty inexpensive trick, pretty easy to learn. Rick Lax is a great trick teacher for this trick.
Oh yeah. So it's crazy, right? Like a $10 download.
The full Penn and Teller.
Penn and Teller. I mean, now it was. I believe it was a download before it. See, that's why the presentation's different. Because he had already filmed the download. I think we already filmed the download, and then he went on Fool Us with it.
Yeah.
And then it got kind of like rebranded, and then he brought out Binary Code 2.
Yeah.
Which is a different trick. He uses cards that are ripped up, but maybe you should look at both of them. But Binary Code 1. That's why it's a different presentation. I'm thinking of as we're doing this, it's coming back to me. 3 phases. You're just memorizing cards in each phase, and it just gets more and more impossible. It is not memorization. You can do it. Great trick. I mean, I don't. What else do you say about it?
I think here's the interesting thing. When you look at something like this compared to a lot of the other tricks on Fool Us, they either come down to they're impossibly difficult, or they have a crazy gimmick that you would never think of that was super special.
That might have been designed for the show.
Yes. But at the end of the day, if it is a really good method with a really good presentation, you can fool some of the best magicians in the world with a trick.
Yep.
And I think there's a lot of stuff that falls into that category.
Yeah.
And this happens to be one of them.
And now we're talking out loud. I got this higher.
Yeah.
You know, because like some of this stuff, and like same with Banded, like I know that these are like their tricks. They do these tricks. You know, we got some other things. You know, nothing. Unshuffle's a great trick.
It's amazing.
But he had to take that extra step with it to get the trophy. Yeah. Right. It's interesting. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah, I think so. But Binary Code, it's a great trick by Rick Lax. You should check it out. Brings us to
5. Oh man, yeah. I don't know. One of the best. Man, when are we gonna do the best card trick ever? Right? Like
I don't know. List. Josh, social media guy.
I mean, that's a bold list, right? But like,
when are we going to do the best card tricks ever?
Best card tricks
Josh
ever.
Birch.
Best card tricks ever. Is
comment
this on there?
Comment below on your votes.
Well,
for
we have to get like real specific. That's the thing, you know, like best gimmick deck tricks ever. Best. Like,
I just want him to drive Josh nuts.
Drive Josh nuts. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
no, everyone give eggs in the chat for Josh.
Eggs?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
I saw it on Twitch once. Big hand for lots of appreciation to the people who run our social media, especially Josh Birch, who works real hard to get you guys these lists to vote on. But let's move on to number 5.
Because I feel like sometimes things keep popping up a little bit. And I don't remember if we've talked about Card-Toon yet on a different top 10. But, man, like, all right. This isn't the actual original Card-Toon. This is Card-Toon 2 with a different little, like, animation. But Dan Harlan's Card-Toon.
One of the best card tricks of all time.
Yeah, for sure. So this is a routine where any card can be named. Crazy. You spread the deck out. You find the card that's just simply named. You take it out of the deck, and then you turn the deck over to reveal that there is you're not going to be finding the cards. Your little magician is going to be finding the card. You show a little design on the back of the cards, and you flip through. It's like a flip book. It's really cool. You flip through the deck, and then the final card is so the animation is of the stick figure reaching into a hat, and he pulls out a giant card. He unfolds it, and then he shows it to you. And it's the named card. Yeah. Works with any card. It's amazing.
So good.
So good.
It's great. Now, this is sort of the area that we're getting into where we're like, all right, the version you're going to buy from Penguin is not the same version that Dan used to fool Penn and Teller.
No.
But isn't the red table that we have here sometimes didn't that like go to fool us and come back like that?
No. He built a different table. Okay. He built a different table for it. So you can buy Card-Toon, and weirdly, you can argue that Card-Toon is like a better trick. Yes. Right? Like the actual one that you can buy on the website, better than the version that Dan is doing. Yeah. It's just that Dan, just like Paul Gertner, can't go on Fool Us and fool them with Card-Toon. Now, I know because Dan's here and Dan's a good friend. Yeah. They asked Dan to come on the show. They wanted Dan Harlan on the show.
And they wanted Card-Toon.
And they wanted specifically Card-Toon. Yeah. So what is Dan going to do? Dan's not going to be okay to just go out there and do a gimmick card trick. No. Right? No. Dan's a mad scientist, right?
So he's going to re-engineer Card-Toon from the ground up.
He's going to fool Penn and Teller with Card-Toon. Yeah. Like, he wouldn't have it any other way. I remember talking to him about it, and he was just like, do I just go on there? And no, Dan. No. You go and fool him.
You go and Harlan them.
So he had to, so the routine you'll see Dan do on Fool Us just seems like any card is named, and then he gives the deck away at the end, because you cannot do that with the regular Card-Toon deck. It's a completely gimmick deck that allows you to name any card, right? So the method that Dan is using is explained on his most recent Penguin Live
3
lecture. 3. Dan Harlan 3, not his act, because the act was the card stuff, right? Yeah. So Dan Harlan 3.
Yeah, the Penguin Live.
No,
his
that
Penguin
is not true.
No, is it 2?
He fools. It's on the holiday special.
Oh, that's right.
It's on the holiday special.
Yes.
That's right. The last holiday special with Scott Alexander.
So you can learn the version that Dan Harlan did. You will not learn it if you buy Card-Toon. You've got to get the holiday special.
Yes, yeah. So holiday special number 273.
Yeah.
No, what is it? Number 6, 7? It's not going to matter. Just look for...
All of the holiday specials are great.
Yes.
You learn some really great magic in the Penguin Magic holiday specials, and they're
Dan
funny.
Harlan 3, and I mean, there's so much stuff out there. But I mean, the thing is you're not going to be doing it anyway. It's fascinating to see his thinking about how he wanted to fool Penn and Teller and what had to actually go into it. But it's not something you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
But get Card-Toon if you don't have that, because it's
a great trick. If you do walk around, if you just
great for kids and it's great for adults too. I mean,
if you need something that you haven't shown somebody anything in a while, it's $11.25. $11.25.
That's it?
It's so good.
It's
And there's a couple different versions, Card 1, Card-Toon.
If you want the one that Dan did on the show with the magician reaching the hat, that's just Card-Toon. 2 is the guy getting shot out of the cannon. You can kind of see it here. And I think there's like Fart-Toon and something else. I don't know how readily available that stuff is. But
there's a couple different versions of it. They all kind of work the same. It's just a different animation on the top. So it's pretty good.
One of the smartest tricks, when you see that gimmick deck, you'd be like, only Dan Harlan could have thought of this. And it's good.
It's amazing. That brings us to number 4, which is from our good buddy Shawn Farquhar. This is Sheer Luck. This is the Sheer Luck comedy book test. I love this trick. So the appearance of this trick is that you hand somebody the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. You have them, you stand back to back and you're going to read their mind. And unbeknownst to them, you're taking out another copy. They say a page number and then you tell them to look somewhere on the page and you open it up and you're telling them like what's going on. And then as you turn back around, you're hiding the book and the audience sees what you're doing, that you're peeking at the book, but the person doesn't. Finally, you reveal that you've got a book, but then when you go to show them, it's not the same. Your copy is all blank. You were really reading their mind the whole time. It's a fantastic book. It's a really clever method. Now, the fun part is Shawn was doing this on cruise ships. And so the method that Shawn is doing on Fool Us is different than the method that you get. However, when you buy Sheer Luck, Shawn has gone ahead and made a video to show you how to do the method that he did on Fool Us, where you can give away the blank book if you really wanted to, because the version that he used to do for a long time wasn't fully examinable. The version that he does on Fool Us is fully examinable. It's a really interesting book test. I've done this on stage. I own this. It's $80 and it's worth every penny. It's very fun to do.
Yeah, that's a trick I've wanted to do for a long time. I can't remember the first. I think I might have seen him do it at like an MC gig at a magic convention. And I was like, man, that is just right up my alley. Because it's just so much fun. This would be, we talk about like a lot of good like open mic night type magic, that are full complete routines. This would be something that anybody could do, and it helps you learn a little bit of like audience management and staging on stage, because you are going to be up there with somebody back to back and like
it's not often I can say like the book test is self-working. It's like self-working is not really quite what I want to say, but basically the routine is bulletproof. There's like all of the stuff that is built into the routine where you're sort of like hiding the book from them but showing the audience has the book even though the spectator doesn't see that you have an extra book. Shawn teaches you all of those beats. And the first couple times you do it, maybe you're not going to be able to hide the book, get as many laughs as Shawn, but you still have this amazing ending that just kills lay people. Because they think it's a gag right up until you show them the book is blank.
Right.
It's really, and the method that he fools them with Penn and Teller is chef's kiss. It's so clever, and you will want to do that. That version requires a little bit more work on your part, but it's just as satisfying to do.
Yeah, like would you even bother though for a lay audience?
I kind of think it's just one of those that
just like for your own fun.
For your own fun, you might want to do it that way. Because you don't need to, because you get this right out of the box, and you could do it. Basically, you just have to memorize the routine and the beats. It's fantastic.
And anything by Farquhar is just like, you're getting a polished piece of magic. This is a great thing to pick up.
I'll say a couple of things too. the books are really nice quality.
Yeah.
When you get this, so the reason he does this with the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes is because Sherlock Holmes is in published domain. I mean, he goes into a lot of the reasoning behind this, and even tells you like how he made his original copies, and like if you wanted to do your own with a particular book, like this is how you would put it together.
Yeah.
But in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes is known all around the world.
Yeah.
It's a really accessible book to do. It's a really nice size. It's one of these. It's like the ultimate sort of like pack small, plays huge.
Yeah.
There's really not a lot else I can say
No,
except that it's so good.
I've seen him do it. This is one that I've wanted to do.
Drops right into your set.
Yep, absolutely. Should we talk about the list?
Let's talk a little bit of the list, because I think that I understand why a lot of the Penguin voting public put these in the order that they are. But honestly, I really think that Banded and Blank Knight should be bumped up about 3 spaces each.
Yeah, maybe I agree with you on Banded, because like now my brain wants to take the tricks that like had to add something to fool them and like move them lower on the list.
Yes.
And the ones that are just raw, like this is just I don't know, I guess personal opinion, but like just raw tricks that people came up with that can go on Fool Us and fool them seem to be, I guess in my own weird magician brain, better, right? Yeah. Banded would be interesting to me, and then like what's the other one on there? Binary Code, also now interesting to me as tricks that maybe should be higher.
I believe, if I'm remembering this correct, and I may very well be wrong, I think the version of Sheer Luck that Shawn did on Fool Us was the first version he came up with, but then he went to this gimmick version simply because it was easier to handle, because at the time Shawn was on a lot of cruise ships, and so it was just one less thing for him to think about, and it was harder for him to manufacture it.
Yeah.
So it took him a while to get there, and his preferred version is the version that he sells.
Yeah, because it's like when you watch Farquhar do it, you know he's done it 10,000 times.
Yeah. So if my memory is correct on Sherlock, I think that the version he does for Penn and Teller is the version that he originally came up with, and he went the extra mile to make it easier on himself. And then when he went on Fool Us, he realized that the original version is the more fooling version, and so he went back to that one. So I would kind of put Sheer Luck with Banded and Blank Knight and Binary Code, all for that same reason.
Yeah, like I like where Cards and Bag is.
Yep. Unshuffled Kicker.
Unshuffled, maybe move it up a little, but like not too far.
But only because.
But even Card-Toon, I'd move closer to the to 10. Than
closer to 1 or closer to 10.
Closer to 10 than to 5. I mean, maybe it's in a good spot right in the dead center.
Yeah.
But like nobody, you're not gonna be doing that.
No.
Right? Do a regular Card-Toon.
Yes.
But
yeah. No, I think I agree with you. I think that your reasoning is right. I understand why the Penguin fans voted for what they do, because when you look at those performances, it's just fireworks all over the place as you get closer and closer to the top of the list.
And I don't know what's not on this list.
No, I don't either.
Right. So
there's
got to be more than just 10 of these.
Yeah.
So let us know what else is supposed to be on here, because I'm not aware.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And this list is pretty specific. It's not like some other stuff where you and I might be like, oh, there's something I've done that they should know about.
Now, in the top 3 here, 2 of these kind of fall by our rules that we just were saying, like raw tricks that people know how to do. And one, I think, probably deserves to be out of the top 3. Maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So number 3, though, comes from our buddy Kostya Kimlat.
I always Kostya Kimlat.
Kostya, what's up, man?
Yeah.
This might be one of the best clips on Fool Us.
It really is.
I think, in my opinion, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
Because he goes on there and just pummels them. Death.
To destroys them.
To death.
Yeah.
With his...
It's you would recognize it, because if I show a single frame right now, you would know what it is. And that single frame is Penn picking up a chair, prepared to throw it through a screen.
Yeah. And that's because he watched Kostya's Triumph.
Yeah.
Which we're here talking about the products that you would buy, so you would end up buying his Roadrunner Cull DVD.
It's the Roadrunner Cull is the DVD that inspired a generation of magicians to step up their game when it came to culling.
Right. So when you watch that, if you're unaware, I guess you'd have to know what a cull is, but it's going to be very hard for you to even imagine that is what he's doing when he's performing that routine. But like, man, it is just a pure, like, exhibition of somebody that has put in the time and mastered a move
better than
anybody else has ever done it, right? And he puts that on display.
Yeah, he's the Michael Jordan of
right.
separating cards into two distinct groups.
Right. So that's if you want to learn that, and he teaches tricks on there. I mean, this is one of the things that is talked about.
Yeah.
Pick up the Roadrunner Cull. You should own it anyway. If you're gonna be a magician, you want to know anything about card magic, buy the Roadrunner Cull.
Super good.
It's amazing.
And I think if you are familiar with it, when you watch his routine on Fool Us, there's a lot of stuff where he kind of does the same trick 3 times, but he's doing different methods, and he's sort of like hinting at different things where he's like, hey, you could use a cheek-to-cheek deck or something like that, but he's doing some funky stuff, and then he does the real thing, and you see Penn get mad because I think he fooled him earlier in the routine, and then they realize what they're watching midway through, and they're very upset.
Yeah, this is a nice example of, like, he didn't have to do anything method-wise to change for his performance, but he was able to come up with a great script.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure it's not too far off what he normally says,
No.
but, like, you know, he fully understood the thinking of the path of thinking that Penn Teller were going to take along the way, and he was just holding her hand down that path until Penn ends up throwing a chair.
Yeah.
Right? So
It's super good.
yeah, it's one of the best clips on Fool Us if you haven't seen it, obviously.
And I think it's like, it's very indicative of if you're going to go on that show, like you should do something that is just great. Whether or not you fool them, just go on there and do something incredible.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. Let's move on to number 2, though. Number 2 is another one that just like, man, it's right in the pocket of incredible stuff. And it's Impossible Coins Across by Eric Jones. Now, this is not something that is sold on its own. It's on the Eric Jones live act, I believe, on Live Act 1. Or no, not live act, live lecture.
Yeah, and I think, oh man.
It might be on the metal DVDs.
No, I think it's on Eric Jones 2.
Is it on Eric Jones 2?
I think. I don't know. It'll be in the description. It's in one of his.
It's in the
so many Penguin live lectures.
Yeah. In the description below, there is a place where you can click on it it's one of the Eric Jones live things. And sorry, we're blanking on which one it exactly is, but it's in the graphic below us and in the description. You can click on it and check it out. But he teaches the full routine, and if you look at it, what it is a coins across. 3 coins vanish from one side of the table, they reappear on the other, and it is one of the most impossible versions of it. And it's a keen insight into how clever a routiner Eric Jones is, particularly with coins and particularly with the very special gimmick that he's using. Because I think a lot of people would use a different type of gimmick. A turtle, as Fool Us has all gone to.
Yeah, he got him. He got him.
He got him.
He got him.
Because I think I'm safe in using code on this.
Sure.
He's not using a turtle. He's clapping at him.
Oh, sure.
I think is.
Yeah, I mean, Fool Us is all about code, so why not?
But it's more than just the gimmick. It's how he's putting this routine together, how he's putting stuff in the audience's hand.
Anybody can do coins across, man. But like, this is a showpiece. This is a theatrical like experience for them. It's 7 minutes long or whatever. I mean, I've seen him do well. When you get his live lecture or whichever one it's in, you'll see a live performance of it. He does right where we're sitting.
Yep.
Kills people with it. I mean, it's just amazing. You're gonna want to do it because you know what's involved, and when you see it, you're like, I can do that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a great example of somebody just taking a trick that might be common or trivial for a lot of magicians. They know one, but they never do it for people. And this guy expanded it to Fool Us, taking them around the world, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, even before Fool Us, Eric's just always out there doing amazing stuff. Yeah, it doesn't matter. As long as you do it well, it can be a fooler on Teller.
It's amazing. And I know around some other Fool Us alumni that like there's a really amazing story about Eric filming this, which is it's his story to tell, but there's a really great story that gets shared around a lot of Fool Us people about Eric performing this on there. But it's also in first season of the American season. Jonathan Ross is on there. You can tell like Jonathan Ross is like blown away.
Yeah, then it had to have been Eric Jones too.
Oh, yeah.
Because the act would have been like in 2018, 17, 16, right? It had to have been 2.
Yeah, and I mean, he really fools him with this. Yeah. It's super good.
Yeah, it's just great.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not much else you can say about it.
No, check it out. It's amazing. But that brings us to number 1.
Number one. Man, this I had no idea how this worked.
The initial clip is just mind blowing.
And that is Out of Sight by Joshua J. Really interesting presentation here where he talks about performing for the blind and goes through a card selection sequence that would only work if somebody couldn't see a deck of cards. So, and so they go through that sequence where the card is chosen via dealing piles on the table. Josh is blindfolded and head is turned. So now the audience knows the card and the person knows the card. And then Josh is able to discover the card blindfolded, deck face down, just through touch.
Yeah.
Pulls one card out on the table, the spectator names the card, or he names the card, and then turns it over and reveals that he has indeed found the card. Then, as the kicker ending, I mean, that's impressive already.
Yeah.
As the kicker ending, turns the deck over, and every card is blank. So the thought of card could have been the only card that was in the deck, and that's the trick. I mean, I was pretty floored when I first saw it.
This is $74.99, and you get a very, very special deck of cards. This is not something you're putting together on your own. This is not something that you're going to like watch someone's live lecture like Eric Jones and do. But the deck of cards is super high quality. I believe the deck of cards itself is manufactured by Card Shark.
I was just wondering, does it come with a blindfold? It does.
Ooh, very cool.
It does come with a blindfold, DVD, and the deck of cards that you will need. Because it is a special deck.
Yeah.
And it allows you to do that one particular trick.
Yeah.
And, you know, you are getting, this is a real showpiece. Like, you are really getting, like, the presentation here. Because, like...
I think this sort of is... This is one of the hallmarks of Joshua J. is making very impactful, dynamic showpiece performances.
Sure.
I'm not sure that I would do this in a walk-around situation. I would want to do this more in like a formal parlor show.
That's because the presentation is very important about performing for the blind. I mean, it's not something that you're going to like kind of just burn over like as you're at the next cocktail table, right?
But Josh has a pretty long history in working in various charities and doing a lot of things in sort of in this vein and working with people.
So yeah, I mean, as a fooler, I mean, I figured maybe it had to have been a special deck, but wasn't quite sure because of the card selection process. Felt like something a little like old school, a little bit, but that makes sense.
Yeah, but
so we have a product here.
Yeah, it's the deck of cards does a lot of the heavy lifting on this, and it's a very well-made deck of. I mean, it's made by the cats at Card Shark, which they make fantastic products, and understanding what this deck is and understanding how, like all of the quality that goes into it, it's really stunning piece of sort of mechanical engineering,
right?
Or magical engineering is really what it is.
Now
Number one,
really any of these things I guess could be one, but if you're going by the kind of rules I've put up in my own head here now on this list, I don't have it as number one.
No,
because of
I still see it as very high up because it is a very strong trick. The thinking behind it is really cool, but I have this more at like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And I've got Eric Jones and Kostya a little bit higher.
Now I don't know the history of this trick.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's something that Josh has done in his past, but maybe like never really like. Because the deck that is involved here is not an easy to. You're not making this at home.
No.
Right? So he would have had to have gotten it, made for him and everything.
And I think, don't get us wrong here, amazing trick, killer method, great product. Josh is an amazing teacher. We really like this.
Oh, yeah, the product's amazing.
Yeah, we're only talking about this like in context of like this particular list.
I might have it 4.
Yeah. I think 4 would be a better place for it on this list.
4 on this list. And then I'd move it. So what would be your number 1?
My number 1 would be Kostya Kimlat's Roadrunner Cull thing.
Yeah,
just because I think that when you learn, for me, the routine is amazing. The effect that it had on Penn and Teller was great. You can buy it, so it's inside of this. But also, when you learn it, it opens up a whole new world of magic to you.
Sure. I
think that's why I put Kostya's at number 1, and then I feel the same for Eric Jones, but I put it at number 2, but only because it's coin magic, and you know how I feel about coin magic.
Yeah. So then, like your top 3 would be
Roadrunner,
Cull, Impossible Coins,
Sheer Luck. And then I would have Out of Sight at number 4. Number 4. I would advance all of those up put Roadrunner comes 1, Imagination or the Impossible Coins is number 2, Sheer Luck is number 3. For me, Out of Sight is number 4, because then when you get into it, everything else is like kind of specific gimmicks, and you're out of this like sort of like more broad world where you're not doing everything every day.
Sure, I would go. I guess I would go Roadrunner Cull. I think that's the clear.
Yeah.
Like I think and you get the clip. The clip is amazing,
yes.
right? So I mean, it's hard to beat that. 2, I'd go. I guess Impossible Coins, and then 3, I'm going to go with Binary Code.
Okay,
because it's a raw routine that Rick went on there and fooled him with. So.
Well, that's it for the list. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Let us know in the comments below if there's anything that you think should be on this list, if there's anything we missed, if there's anything you disagree with us on, or where you agree with us. Also, let us know other top 10 lists that you want to vote on that Nick and I can talk about. Be sure to hit that bell and like and subscribe so that you can get updated whenever we come out with this or any of the other shows. Because as you know, Nick and I also do the Magic Matchup, where we go and compare and contrast 3 identical products, and we do the Inside the Box series, where Nick and I actually open up, get a hands-on with a lot of these products, and sometimes we even show you the props themselves. We love having you all join us on those. Every Wednesday, be sure to check out the Penguin Magic Facebook and Instagram page at 3 p.m. Eastern Time to see Nick Locapo's Penguin Magic live stream, and be sure to follow us and listen to the Penguin Magic podcast, where I talk to all of your favorite magicians. There's a lot of stuff to talk about.
We need a life, man.
We really do.
We don't have anything else. This is it. We're just trapped in everybody's little screen on the YouTube, and that's it, man. That's all we do.
Thank you so much for watching. As always, on behalf of Nick, myself, and everyone here at the P3 Magic Studios, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.